Unit 7, Day 3, Determining Linear Equations. So recall that the independent variable is the quantity that changes without being influenced by any factors. So that was like the example we used the other day. We used time as an example of the independent variable. The dependent variable is a quantity that changes as a result of a change in another variable, such as that independent variable. So the example we used the other day was the position of the sun in the sky is a dependent variable because that position changes based on time, which is the independent variable. Let's start with an example. So example 1, Murphy's Bus Lines rent out school buses for trips. They charge $40 up front plus $20 per person on the bus. Make a table of values and find an equation to describe the relationship. So first thing we always have to do with word problems is identify our independent and dependent variables and state what they are. Let blank represent the independent variable and let blank represent the dependent variable. So let's figure out first the one that doesn't change based on anything else. That would be the number of people. A hint to determine the independent variable is look for the words per in the question. So you can see here it says per person. So people, the number of people is the independent variable. And then what changes based on the independent variable? That's the cost. So let the cost represent the dependent variable. Now that should make sense to you. The cost changes based on how many people you have, but the amount of people you have doesn't change based on another variable. Now let's set up our table of values to find the equation. So let's set some predetermined number of people. So we'll start with 0 and we'll go up by 5s. Now we need to figure out what the cost will be for each of these different number of people so that we can figure out the equation and describe the relationship. So let's start here. If there was no people riding the bus, how much would the bus cost? Let's look at our equation up here. So the bus company charges $40 up front plus $20 per person. Now let's figure out how much it will cost for each amount of people that could be riding the bus to find an equation and to determine the relationship. So if 0 people ride the bus, we're still going to have to pay this upfront cost because that happens no matter how many people are riding the bus. And then they charge $20 per person riding. So in this case, there's 0 people riding, and that'll give us $40. So it'll cost $40 if no one rides the bus. If 5 people ride the bus, you still have to pay that upfront standard cost plus $20 times 5 people riding. And that works out to $140 in total. If 10 people ride the bus, we have to pay that upfront cost plus 20 times 10. That gives us a total cost of $240. And finally, if 15 people ride the bus, we have the $40 upfront cost plus 20 times 15 people, which is going to be a total of $340. So they want us to find an equation for the cost. So cost is our dependent variable. Cost is equal to the number of people times $20. So 20 times the number of people, which is represented by P, plus that standard upfront cost of $40. And that will work for any situation. So if a teacher said, oh, you know what, I have 28 people actually attending, plug 28 in for this P, and you're going to get the value for cost, just like how we did in this chart. Finally, we need to figure out if this relationship is linear or not. So let's use a table of values. So to describe the relationship, let's look at the first differences, because we know from before, if the first differences are constant, we know that it's linear. 140 minus 40 is equal to 100. And let's calculate this first difference. So 240 minus 140 is also equal to 100. And finally, 340 minus 240 is equal to 100. Therefore, this relationship is linear. Rogers has two cell phone options, a pay-as-you-go, which charges 25 cents a minute, and the monthly plan you were looking for charges $25 upfront and 5 cents a minute. So write an algebraic expression for both cases. So the first thing we need to do is identify our independent and dependent variables and state them. So I've said let m be the number of minutes and let c be the total cost. Now let's write an algebraic expression for both cases. So part A, pay as you go. So the cost is equal to 25 cents a minute. The monthly plan cost is equal to 5 cents a minute plus a $25 upfront cost. And there are our two equations for both of the scenarios. So part B asks us to find the cost of 100 minutes under each plan. So for our pay-as-you-go plan, the cost is equal to 25 cents a minute. So let's plug in our 100 minutes there. And it's going to cost us $25 per month if 100 minutes are used. For the other plan, this is what they charge, and so we'll plug in the 100 minutes, and that ends up being $30 per month if you go with that plan using 100 minutes. Now they're asking the same thing, but for 250 minutes, so we'll do the exact same thing. So the cost is equal to 25 cents times 250 minutes, which gets to $62.05. The other plan at 250 minutes is $37.5 a month. So then part D says, if you plan on taking 200 minutes each month, which plan should you choose? So in order to answer this part D, we'll do the exact same thing, but we'll plug in 200 for a number of minutes. So the first plan at 200 minutes is going to be $50 per month. And the second plan at 200 minutes is going to be $35 a month. Therefore, this individual who wants to spend $200 a month should go with the monthly plan.